Fact of the day.
Fact of the day.
Hello, hi, and welcome to Fact of the Day with me, Mark Lotsu. You produce more endorphins eating a bland meal than you do a lovely, delicious meal. So this is a recent study from researchers at the Turku PET Centre, and it was published in the Journal of Neuroscience. It was done using Positron Emission Tomography. So that's where you're given a radioactive compound that binds to specific receptors in your brain, and then you can detect what's happening in that part of your brain. This is based on work that when you eat, you increase the levels of endorphins in your brain, and having a bland meal means you have more endorphin. Now, an endorphin is an endogenous or endogenous opioid. Endogenous simply means that your own body makes it, you're not getting it from another source, as opposed to morphine, which isn't, because you obviously take an injection of morphine. And what they found was when you have a bland meal, the amount of opioids increases even more so than if you have like something delicious that you love, like a pizza. The participants were given a radioactive compound that bounds to the opioid receptors in their brain. So opioids are usually associated with things like pleasure and things like euphoria. So you'd assume if you have a delicious meal, you're gonna have more opioids than if you have a bland, rubbishy meal. But they found that the amount of opioid release was completely independent of the pleasure that the person had whilst they're eating the meal. And it's thought the release of opioids when you're eating is more to do with satiety, the feeling of being full, rather than the feeling of getting pleasure from it. Now, these results indicate that when you're overstimulating the opioid system. Therefore, it takes more food for you to feel full, for you to feel sated. So that's why people will eat more and eat more and eat more and eat more. And this is a great indication for an increase in the levels of obesity. Because you eat a lot of food, you get opioids released, which say, okay, we're full now. But that system next time requires even more opioids to get it, and then even more and even more and even more. So that's why you produce more opioids eating a bland meal rather than a nutritious one. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye, love you, bye, love you, bye.